Hey guys, welcome back. Episode 5. Sorry for the delay. We've had loads and loads of feedback coming in from the last episode regarding shoulder internal rotation. Really great stuff coming in about improvements overhead, so that's fantastic. We're getting some questions now. I think we're going to move away from the shoulder temporarily and we'll come back to that later. But we're having some questions about the relationship from the shoulder to the lower back. We're having a lot of questions from our athletes about particularly having done a lot of pulling work overhead, that we're starting to get some backache, lots of running, getting lots of backache. So I'm going to show you a couple of techniques that works very well if you're going to deal with some general soft tissue dysfunctions around the lower spine. We find in particular that we deal a lot with our athletes with this lateral line of tissue. So the tissue on the outside of the leg that runs all the way up underneath the arm into the thing. So with the athletes come in having done lots of pulling motions, without rest, maybe on consecutive days, they're starting to get a really kind of niggly back and a bit of a niggly shoulder. So what we're going to do, we're going to show you a couple of techniques just to kind of loosen those things off and make them feel great again. Now the first technique actually is going to be dealing with the soft tissue which sits on the base of the back, on the side of the back. There's a few muscles in here and some soft tissue in here which is quite thick and gets quite congested under load. It's a very active region and it works a lot as a stabilizer for us. So it's doing a good job, but it often needs a bit of love and attention also. So the first technique I'm going to show you is a nice way of trigger point releasing that before we then use the whole lateral line as one as well. So what you're going to need for this is a hockey ball and a foam roller, which I'll see in a minute. But for the first one, very simple. You're going to find yourself some floor space. You're going to get yourself all laid out on the floor so that you're lying flat on your back. Now, in this position, you're going to bend. If I'm going to work on my right side, I'm going to bend my left leg. I'm then going to straighten my right arm so that my right arm and my right leg are fully extended. In this position, I'm going to roll over onto my right side. So I'm going to roll over onto my right side, and then I'm going to transfer my leg from the back over to the front. In this position, I'm ready to go. The ball you'll see is going to be positioned in the soft tissue at the small of my back, which is going to be just above the pelvic bone, above the hip bone, right in the pocket of tissue which sits just above it. I put my ball into place. I then put my hand on the back of my neck and I reach for the wall with my arm and I reach for the wall with my foot and I slowly rotate over onto the ball, accepting load very carefully. And I stay in this position. And then I come out, I bring my arm down, I relax my elbow, grab the ball, sit back up. So technique number one is very simple. You just find the position, you get the ball in the right spot. You may have to play with that position slightly to get the right exact spot. Then you're going to stay on, you'll know when you're on the right spot because it's quite uncomfortable, and you're going to wait for the pain level to subside. It's probably going to go from a 7 or an 8 out of 10 down to about a 2 or a 3 out of 10. Then you're going to find another spot. Be careful not to go too high under the rib cage. We don't want to be mobilizing your kidneys. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second exercise is going to be used in conjunction with the first. We're going to open up some of that soft tissue which is getting really stuck together, and then we're going to use the roller technique to kind of open up that tissue together. So I'll show you that next. So for this one, you need to get your foam roller. Any one will do. This is just quite a low density one, but for the purposes of this drill it's fine. I'm going to sit on my heels so my bum is fully in contact with my heels. That's very important. I'm going to place the roller to start off with at a right angle in front of me, and then it's very important, I'm going to turn the angle of the roller 45 degrees away from the side I'm going to be working on. So first we've been working on the right side. I'm going to turn 45 degrees away from my right side so I'm ready to go. I'm going to put my wrist, the back of the outside in line with my little finger on top of the roll, and my thumb is going to remain up towards the ceiling. In this position, I am going to push my arm out on the roller, and then I'm going to accept that load As I push away, already it's feeling a little bit tight locally up here now, not down the bottom, up the top. I'm going to push away. Now I'm going to increase the stretch by pushing this part of my body towards the bed, towards the camera. I'm going to push out, so I'm making almost like a U shape in my body. I'm pushing out, all the way out. And I drop my head and my chest to below the line of my elbow. And I hold. And we come back out. And you can repeat this position reciprocally. It's fine. To sensitize the stretch a little bit more, you're going to put your opposite hand onto your opposite hip. And as you go down towards the floor, you're going to rotate that elbow over as well. And hold. And come back up. Oh, miserable. But very effective, guys. It's very good to loosen off this thick region of soft tissue at the base of your back. But then it's important that you encourage normal sliding, gliding mechanisms from the soft tissue, which runs right up through your lat and into your arm, so they can all work together. Of course, your lat attaches to your arm, but also onto your pelvis, so it runs the length, and people don't understand that. So what's important is we realize that we're not just dealing with working up here, we have to also deal with working away from that region to have an effect on the one that's problematic. Have a go, guys. Let us know how you get on. Having some great feedback, but this one is a bit different, so have a go. Let us know. Cheers, guys.